Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestling Bros podcast with your hosts, the Studley Boys, the most handsome
Dudley
man on the internet,
boys.
Big Daddy Joe over here, and myself, Big Nasty Nate. We are here to talk about some pro wrestling. Episode 2, Joe.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
how you feeling this week?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling real good. That main event was okay, and I can't wait to talk about it.
You think it was just okay-ish?
Yeah, I think it was just okay. It was made for TV.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they had too many matches.
I don't think it was too many. I think it was just we'll talk about it. We'll get into it
Yeah,
here
we'll
in a minute.
talk about. Well, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
before we get started, I got a question.
All
I
right.
really like starting off last week. We were talking about Mount Rushmores, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so we talked about singles wrestlers, our all-time top four. Do you have a Mount Rushmore for tag teams?
Absolutely, I do. Uh, and I feel bad because there's one that I left off that I was really wanting to put on there, but
I'll let you have an honorable mention.
all right, sounds good. All right, so for my top four, I have the Dudley Boys,
Respect.
the Hardy Boys, the Road Warriors, and the Brothers of Destruction.
Solid, solid. So you like the big
Yeah,
bruisers
I like the Big Bruisers.
and then one
I
high
had
flyers.
to, yep, yep, one high flyers, and I had to leave Christian and Edge off. It hurt my heart to do it, but they definitely made an impact on me as well.
Well, it helps too. They went on and had better singles careers even than they had tag careers, so that helps.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
that's
true.
solid. So let's see. Number one was which one again?
The Dudley
The
Boys.
Dudleys. Okay.
Yep.
The best tag team all time when it comes to championships, hands down. Uh,
Hmm.
if I can share mine and then we'll compare notes.
All
For
right.
me, number one, the Steiner brothers. Hard
Oh yeah.
hidden, nasty, everything looked real and it probably felt real. Uh, the Dudleys, um, Bubba Ray and Devon, I'm talking going all the way ECW Dudleys. That you could not put on TV today. You could barely put it on in the 90s. It was that they were that mean on the microphone.
Yeah.
Um, I want to go Harlem Heat. Booker
Oh
T and
yeah.
Stevie Ray.
Hmm.
Stevie was never the wrestler that Booker was, but Stevie had a charisma about him that was something that made that team special. And then you had Sherry Martel in the mix as the manager, and it was just perfect, especially for the time frame that was in. I don't think you can talk about WCW tag teams without bringing up Harlem Heat.
Hmm.
Um, and then number four is always the hard one. I might have to have an honorable mention too, my friend.
All
Um,
right.
it's short lived, but nostalgia gets me every time, Joe. You know, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. The
Absolutely.
Rock and Sock connection. Like
You
Mick
had to throw them in
Foley,
there.
Mick Foley acting like a goober and The Rock being the straight man is the funniest thing you'll ever see. And them working together, it's just the complete opposites, right? You got the charisma that is The Rock that is like unmatched by anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Say what you want to about The Rock. Nobody will ever match that charisma. And Mick Foley's charisma was the same but different. Like he had the nerd charisma down, and The Rock had the normal charisma down, and it just meshed perfectly.
Yeah.
And my honorable mention is hard to say that they're not on my top four, considering we're both North Carolinians, but the Hardys. Um, you can't
Ah,
you can't deny how great they are, and there's
yeah.
so many great tag teams to talk about. It's hard for me to leave the Brainbusters, Tully and Arn off this list and everything. But
Hmm.
for me personally, like you don't get any better than the Steiner brothers
Yeah.
in their prime because they were just nasty.
They were just nasty and high flying and just, I mean, every time I watched them, I was wondering whether or not they were going to die that night. Like,
Whoever got hit with that Steiner line off the
uh-huh.
top rope, Big Scott's got you on his shoulders. Now trust me, if I'm on Scott, I'm 300 some odd pounds. I'm not going to go into how high that number is, but I would trust Scott Steiner now holding me up on his shoulders. But
Yeah.
it's the part where Rick who is a big beefy boy too, coming off and
Hmm.
hits you with the clothesline, and you got to do the back. Sir, I'm gonna need 3 matches pay for that just to
Yeah,
take that
exactly.
one move.
That one move, yeah.
But
And it looked like it hurt. Even if you sold it a little bit, it looked like it hurt for real.
and going back to the Dudleys as well, both of us have we always end up having some crossover. Uh,
Yeah,
the Dudleys, I think, are unfortunately not remembered the way they should be, partially maybe
yeah.
because of Busted Open, which I think is unfair. Bubba's allowed to have his opinion, and
Hmm.
Devon's just kind of the quiet one, you know. But something about that team was just so special. Like you had Bubba Ray, who didn't look like he could draw a dime, but he could talk anybody in the arena because you just wanted to see him get hit in the mouth.
Yeah.
And Devon was just like right there with him. They were just so great. That 3D finisher
Oh man. Yep.
and the tables. Like I could care less about a table. I'm doing this podcast on my kitchen table, and I think tables are cool. And
Pull
honestly,
out the table.
unless the Dudley boys are doing it, I don't really care for the table spots anymore
Not
because
even
it
when the
was
bloodline is doing it now.
give me give me Bubba smacking Devon on the chest and saying get the tables. We don't love you, Solo. We don't
I
love you,
love you so low. I love you so low.
OTC.
Solo is
So
my tribal chief.
I have a feeling that we have a news story I wanted to talk about before we get into main
Yeah, yeah.
event.
Hmm.
And you and I texted a little bit offline because this is bothering me and it shouldn't bother. I mean, because it's not affecting my pay, it's not affecting my life in any way. But as a wrestling fan, it bothers me because it makes me feel like we're regressing instead of progressing. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
For those of you that don't know, this is probably old news by the time you're seeing this. TNA has re-signed Tessa Blanchard. Now the details to her contract, I don't know. I don't care. It's not my business, not my circus, not my monkey.
Hmm.
However,
Tesla, Tesla, Tesla.
in 2024, with the accusations that seem to be warranted, that seem to be truthful,
Hmm.
it is not a good fit to have Tessa Blanchard back on the company that you're trying to continue to grow.
And it's crazy with the WWE contract that they have that they would even go that direction. I feel that it was a bad move. Um, Not one that is going to shake out well. Um, and I try not to be political when it comes down to my wrestling because ultimately, if we
No,
talk politics, I probably wouldn't like any of
exactly.
them. But it's a thing where when you go not only political but racial bully
Yes.
or racist bully, I can't um I can't separate the two, the
Mm-mm.
character from the individual. Um, and that's just as a fighter, you're supposed to be a bully. You know, I used to box and you used to wrestle. I did martial arts. Like as a fighter, you're supposed to be a bully, but you don't pull that
That personal,
person. Yeah, yeah. Because whenever I
especially
fought anybody, it was never personal. It was kind
no.
of fun, but
I
you know,
wrestled, I did taekwondo, and it was never personal. I wanted to try and bully. I wanted to try and control the match, control the tempo,
hmm,
but not bully. And especially when it comes to something somebody can't control, like race
yeah,
and something. We're in a time now where it's already volatile,
yeah,
where the race relations are volatile, and I'm not a I'm a political guy, but I don't like to mix it with my wrestling either.
yeah.
Um, but I don't think Scott Demore would have done this.
No,
Um, Unfortunately, TNA let Scott Demore go earlier this year. He's doing some projects. It seems like he Scott's going to be just fine. I pulled up some of the board of directors for TNA, and I wanted to talk about him real quick. There's Anthony
all right,
Ciccione. He is the TNA president, and Ariel Schrenner, Gail Kim's the head of talent relations, and Christy Hemme is the head of marketing. This team right here has a monster truck to work on to make this work.
yeah,
You and I are both business guys. You're more like the finance guy, more like business tactical, so to speak, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is a dumpster fire to me, and I appreciate Moose backing the company that he works for, that he's a champion for, and he's a great world champion. But I appreciate Moose trying to step up and say, "Hey, Tessa, all
Hmm.
intents and purposes, everything to the side. She is arguably one of the best wrestlers, male, female, in the
She is a
world.
phenomenal wrestler.
She is amazing
Phenomenal.
in the ring.
Yeah. Could take a punch
However,
from you.
definitely,
Yeah.
but Chris Benoit was a great wrestler too,
Yep.
and we're not going to talk about him either.
Mm-mm.
So, and this obviously, I can't you can't compare the two what the two did,
Yeah.
considering the severity of Benoit's actions, but
Hmm.
there's no place in 2024 for this kind of behavior. And I believe in forgiveness and I believe in second chances. And I hope and pray that maybe Tessa has learned from her mistakes and
Yeah.
can somehow show that she is resentful or remorseful for what she did. I guess it's
I,
the best
I
way to go for it.
I would love to see that. It doesn't make me want to follow TNA more though when she comes back.
No.
You know what I mean? It doesn't. But I kind of disagree with you when you say there's no place for this in 2024 because yes, we are regressing, but if you look at where we are, we're polarized
Yeah,
in so many different areas. So many people feel more emboldened now to just be, for lack of a better term, trash about everything. You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
so I feel like this does fit exactly where we are right now in our time frame. It's unfortunate because it doesn't make me a bigger fan of TNA at all.
And I think the sad part is, Joe, and this, you know, just my thoughts too. Ninety
Hmm.
percent of your human population is not that way, but it's that 10% that's getting that platform and
It's
blowing
that
up.
loud. Yep.
And they're so loud and they're so hey,
Hmm.
I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care if you're on the left. I don't care if you're on the right. I don't care if you're on the middle. I don't care if you stand on top of your house and sing Phantom of the Opera songs all day. I don't care. Do you love what you do? But if we cannot respect our fellow man, our fellow brother,
Hmm.
you don't deserve your platform.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Because that is at the core of what we do, whether you like me or not, love me, hate me, disagree with me, whatever. At the end of the day, as a human being, I need to show you that love and respect because, you know, we only get one life to live.
Yep.
And we're all just trying to do the best we can. Ain't no need to make it any worse.
And look, you don't have to respect the way that I think about certain things
Absolutely not.
at all, you know. But you do have to not disrespect me.
Yes, sir.
This feels like disrespect.
Yeah. And I think I'm hoping, like I said, it's not making me want to watch TNA anymore. Now, don't get me wrong; they've been on a great trajectory this past couple
Hmm.
years.
They've been doing so well, and this is the kind of
This
thing
is,
I'm trying to figure it out
yeah,
because they have this contract with WWE where it's like, they can matriculate some of those people in the NXT and even into some of the main event Raw and SmackDown stuff and do some crossover. And then you have this great trajectory, like you were saying, over the past couple of years where the stories have been great. The wrestling has always been great, but the stories and the characters have definitely been lifted up. And then this happens and it just feels like a slap to the face.
exactly. So we will
Yeah.
follow this story. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many more times you and I are going to talk about it on this format. Um, but we can keep following the story and see what happens.
Hmm.
But I wanted to talk about it here. There's probably going to be several other people that have more pronounced opinions than I can articulate. But
Yeah.
as somebody in as a wrestling fan in our universe that we all share, I just wish that we could do better by
Yeah.
for everybody because everybody deserves a place. And that's the beautiful thing about pro wrestling is there's something for everybody. If you like
Hmm.
somebody eating worms and wearing red face paint, we got it. If you like if you like a little guy under the ring dressed up like a leprechaun that's Vince McMahon's son, we got it. We've got everything, but there's no
Hmm.
room for this.
Right. exactly. Keep wrestling weird, man.
Yes.
Not contentious. Keep it weird.
Simon Miller. Simon Miller from What Culture says it best. Goofy wrestling for life, baby.
Goofy wrestling for life. Let's go.
So we were just talking about it just a few minutes ago. Let's dig into it. There was
Let's go.
a big show Saturday night main event. Before we even get into the card, I just want to tell you the aesthetic, the
Yeah.
aesthetic on NBC, Peacock, however you watched it,
Yeah.
dude. I was born
It
in
felt like going back
1991,
to the 80s. It
and
felt like going back to the early 90s. Like it just was so I loved it, man.
Pat McAfee. That's all I need to say. Like, if you
Yeah,
want your commentary to be better, Michael Cole, since Vince McMahon left, has been amazing. He has been
he has.
refreshing. It's been cool to hear him just be him.
Hmm.
But Michael Cole with Pat McAfee
With Pat McAfee
is the
is
chef kiss. You
it
can do this
is.
to say I love you solo. I'm just sitting here. I love you, Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
as much as I love college football, I'm ready for the season to be over so I can hear him every single week because he just makes it better. Um, not to drudge on too much about commentary, but just having Pat McAfee and Michael Cole together has that kind of energy. Not necessarily like
It's Jerry the
King.
King Lawler.
Yeah, he's kind of like the King, except a little bit more energetic. The King's one of the greatest
Yeah.
talkers of all time. Never going to take that away from Jerry the King Lawler. But
Hmm.
something about the way Pat McAfee goes, because he just doesn't care. He doesn't need the money. This is a
Right.
passion project for him. He just loves to do it.
Yeah.
So just glad. Thank you, Pat, for coming back this week.
Thank
It's
you,
great
Pat.
hearing you,
Yeah.
Pat.
We love Pat. I watched the Pat McAfee show. Now I can't say like every day, but weekly at least. I watch it on Hulu, and I just enjoy watching him in general. So him being on wrestling shows consistently, it's something I'm definitely looking forward to.
He's always just had the personality for pro wrestling, even when he was for the with the Colts. He
Yeah.
just had that person. He was a punter. Who cared about a punter until Pat McAfee came along?
All right.
And no disrespect to any punters or kickers out there, you guys are very important members of the
Yeah.
team.
Very
Um,
talented. I couldn't do what you do.
and y'all still get more praise than us defensive linemen ever did. So
I'm just saying, if you can kick it and pin it to the 2 or 1 yard line back there with special teams, then you're special.
are you listening, Steelers? Can we do this, please? We got two big games this week.
Yeah, especially coming off of an L. I'm with you, Mike Tomlin. Mike, you the man.
Mike's my hero.
Yeah, I love Mike, man.
So 5 matches. Five. I
Hmm.
thought I didn't think they were bad for TV matches. I thought they were better than Raw, not quite pay
Yeah,
per view level. Does that make sense? Which
that
is what
makes
it should be. A
sense.
TV special,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Kicked off
exactly.
with Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. It's almost like WWE flipped the switch. It's like, oh yeah, everybody loves Sami Zayn. So if we put him
Hmm.
on a show, everybody's going to cheer for him and hate the bad guy.
Yeah, that's true. And who doesn't love Sammy?
How can you not? And then,
How can you not love Sammy?
but a smaller, another thing. How good is Drew McIntyre?
He is amazing in the ring, and I love his heel personality as well that goes along with it. It feels like that Claymore and his heel personality just mesh so
It
well.
works.
It works.
It's the way he's carried himself since this whole Punk feud started back in the Royal
Hmm.
Rumble. And I think that's the feud of the year, hands down. I don't think any other company, any other feud can touch it for me. Just that I've never cared about a bracelet ever
And
in my life.
it was over a
A
bracelet.
bracelet,
But it was the best feud we've had in a very long time.
especially from WWE. And they've had some great feuds these past few years, but I put
Yeah,
that over Cody and Roman
yeah,
in the
yeah,
past couple of years.
absolutely.
And they've had a
Because
great feud.
it feels like Cody and Roman was, I want to finish the story, and I was
It
after a
was
while, I just was like,
so
okay, wrap
repetitive
it
with
up.
finish the story.
Yeah.
But and Drew McIntyre obviously is going to get the win here. But the
Hmm.
match itself was just big man versus little man, and sometimes the simple stuff just works.
Yeah.
Uh,
They didn't
you
have to
don't
drag it out.
you don't have to drag it out, just short and simple. Sammy looked
Hmm.
like $1 million, sold like $1 million. He always
Yeah.
does. He can make a broomstick look amazing.
Yeah,
But
he
and
can.
Drew is just so nasty. Like with his heel persona, it just looks like I'm trying to think of some comparisons because Drew is one of those wrestlers that he's just gotten better as he's gotten
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys, as they get up to Drew's in his late 30s now, and he's a lot of guys are starting to wind it up. Not anymore, but like
Hmm.
historically, starting to wind it up. He's getting better,
And he
and that's
still looks
scary.
amazing.
Yes, like I will never look that good.
You never know. We might one day when we get in the gym together. We're gonna go see Jimmy.
Yeah, go see, go see my cousin Jim over there.
Go see my cousin Jim and them. Maybe go down to the Planet, maybe the Y, Orange Theory,
And
something.
question, I pulled up the
All right.
Dave. I pulled up the Dave Meltzer star ratings
All right.
for these matches, and I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you, Joe, and anybody listening. I
Hmm.
typically care less about Dave Meltzer's opinions on wrestling, and that's controversial. But I just feel like he's a homer for certain things, and sometimes he just reports stuff so he can say something and put out a newsletter.
I mean,
Okay.
it's content, man. You know.
Yeah, that's what we do as content creation. He's made millions at
Yeah.
it, and he's better at it than I'll ever be, and respect for that. But
Yeah.
typically for me, that's not my cup of tea. But I did pull up his star ratings. He gave Drew and Sammy 3.5 stars, and I think that's a fair rating.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
I
didn't
agree.
have to be great. You don't have to be great. Sometimes the simple stuff just works. In
Hmm.
WWE, they care more about the story um, than they do the match rating, and I'm fine with that.
This bounty hunter thing
Yeah.
that he's putting on right now, it's like he's coming after him one after another. And I
Hmm.
feel like they up the Claymore to this like deadly, you cannot get up from it type of move. I think that's exactly what's needed.
Well, see, here's the
Make
thing:
him scary.
the late great Luke Harper, Brody King,
Yeah.
Not Brody King, but Brody Lee. Um,
Yeah.
he had talked about one time he wanted to be a serial killer like character where he just kind of goes out and beats guys, takes a
Hmm.
trophy from him, and that guy's never the same after he gets beat by Brody.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if because Drew and Brody were so tight, and we're getting close to the anniversary of Brody's unfortunate passing at such a young age. I wonder if
Hmm.
Drew might be trying to pay a little tribute with his bounty hunter, a little different, but kind of pay tribute to
Yeah.
an idea that never got to come to fruition. Because Brody Lee should have been a world champion in WWE, but
Yeah.
with the regime that was in at that time, it was never going to happen.
Right.
But
I'm thankful for Triple H.
yeah, there's some things I would change, but overall, I think now people are getting an opportunity like Sami Zayn, and like
Hmm.
in the next match, Liv Morgan and Io Sky for the women's
Yeah.
championship was a
Can
fun
I tell you
match.
how much I love Io Sky?
Dude, tell me, I want to hear all about it.
Bruh, like she is okay. So to me, I feel like Io Sky, obviously, coming from like the Japanese wrestling and all that stuff, she's great in the ring. She looks great while doing it. She has like an amazing persona that type of thing. It gets me riled up and fired up every single time. I just want to tell you, EO Sky, if you ever hear me, I love you. You're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. And another thing about EO Sky is that she lifts other wrestlers.
Absolutely.
Like whenever she's in the ring with another wrestler, whether she's meant to be the bad guy, the good guy, the one that's taking the hits or fall or getting the win, she makes the other wrestler look so good while doing it.
Effortlessly.
Effortlessly. Yeah.
And I love EO for that. And I'm loving Liv Morgan right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I
But
think when she came on a few years ago, I think a lot of people thought,
mhm.
oh, this is another model hire, right?
Yeah.
It's another pretty blonde they can put on TV. No, this girl can work, and
Yeah.
she can carry she can carry that title and carry it well.
Hmm.
Um,
And
she's
her
got
laugh.
yes, and the charisma.
Yeah.
Her and Dom has been refreshing to me this year. I
It's
gotta
been
say,
hilarious.
I've enjoyed it. the little
Yeah.
chicken tender slut, as mommy called him this past week on Raw. But the
I feel
live,
like she's gonna be able to hold her own against Rhea next time too.
I think it's going to be a fun match. I think
Hmm.
I don't think there's a question on who's going to win that match,
Yeah.
but I think it's going to be a fun match, and I think mommy's going to like dominate early on.
Yeah.
Liv's going to get her
Yeah.
anyway. This match right here just was a showcase of how good both these ladies are.
Yeah, exactly. It
I
was
think
like it was like a love letter.
yes,
I feel like this match was a love letter to women's wrestling and
yes,
what it can be.
because they just said, you know what, we're going to go out here, we're going to leave it all out here because
Yeah.
you can talk about the Rhea Bloody Ripleys of the world and the Becky Lynches and everything and Charlotte
Hmm.
Flair, but these two women wanted to show, hey, there's more than just those three. Like we can
Yeah.
do it, and they did. Io's great.
Yeah.
Io can do anything. She's to me, if I can make a comparison, I think she's the Shawn Michaels of the women's division. She'll make
That's
everybody
a
look
good
good
comparison. Yeah. That's a
because
good
or
comparison.
Shawn Michaels or X Pac, one of those people that you can put them against anything and they will make it look good and they will do great.
Hmm.
And there was no Meltzer rating for this match for some reason, and I think it deserves a good match. So I wanted to give it a 4-star rating,
A 4 star. Yep. I'm
4 out
with
of
you
5.
100%. Yep.
Um, and just so you guys know, watching, I don't like to go blow for blow because I want you to go watch the show. I might give you the spoiler of who's going to win, but it's pro wrestling. You want to see what happens to get the win.
Yeah.
Um, and this one, there wasn't a lot of crazy shenanigans either, which is another thing that I like. There
Yeah.
was
They
just
kept
a
everybody in the back,
yeah,
kind of behind.
and the shenanigans is fun sometimes, but it gets you don't want to wear it out, and you know
Right.
they're gonna do that on the Netflix premiere, so we'll do that then. So Liv Morgan retains the title. Obviously, nobody thought that she was going to lose it, but it was more about let's just go out and work, and that's what these two
Yeah.
ladies did, and they did it so well. And I'm
Yeah,
grateful
they
to have
did.
watched it. The third match up, Joe,
Hmm.
it was nasty. I don't know how you could expect any worse because all three of these guys are stiff.
Yeah.
Two out of the three guys are big, beefy boys. It was
And then
Gunther
they're
versus
slaying.
Balor versus Priest
Yeah.
for the world championship. And Finn's chest looks like filet mignon today.
He got
It's
tenderized.
it's been a week and Finn's chest looks like filet mignon.
Yeah. Can I
Still,
tell you how much I appreciate Gunther?
please do because I love this man.
Yeah, I love Gunther, man. Big Gunther, little Gunther. He's like Big Luther and Little Luther to me. Come out and sing me a ballad on the mat. Okay.
Absolutely.
This guy is the best currently in the ring. In the ring,
Nobody
like
better,
nobody better than Gunther. I mean,
especially when it comes to the powerhouse style.
yeah, yeah. And the way he saved Priest from hurting himself.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
and Priest is not a small man either.
No.
Like this
Mm-mm.
man's got to be at least I don't know what they bill him at, but like looking at him, he's got to be at least 275, 280. This is
Yeah,
a big guy, and Gunther just like saved his life out there.
exactly.
Gunther is an artist.
Yeah,
That is the
he
way to put
is.
it. I don't. This is going to sound hypocritical because Mick Foley is my favorite character and Cactus Jack is my favorite subject of Mick Foley, right?
I'm
But
I'm I'm more of a mankind guy, but I got you.
I don't care for hardcore wrestling that much anymore. Like hardcore, like I don't mind it every now and then, but I'd rather
Hmm.
watch somebody like Gunther
Yeah,
just get in the ring and let me paint.
yeah.
And let's not like we. I'm gonna pin all the praises on Gunther, but Finn Balor
Hmm.
and Damian Priest are amazing as well.
They
Damian
are.
Priest is having the year of his career right now.
He
Um,
is.
I would have never thought like when I first saw Damian Priest on NXT, I didn't follow him in the Indies. I'm not going to pretend like I did. Punishment
Yeah,
Martinez and stuff. I didn't know nothing about him, and I watched him in NXT. I'm like, oh, he's a big guy, but he'll be like Scott Hall, like a mid Carter or whatever. He's proved me
yeah.
wrong. Damian
Hmm.
is good on the mic.
Yep.
He's got a good charisma about him, and his ring work is actually
It's
very
really good.
solid. Like I've enjoyed watching his rise this year. When he cashed in, I was just like at WrestleMania, I just kind of cringed a little bit because I'm like, I just don't. He didn't feel like a world champion to me then,
Yeah,
but now here we are in December, and I'm like, I could see Priest beating Gunther.
I could. He's a big martial artist.
Yeah, and he's got those long legs, and he does. And I compared him to Scott Hall, but
Hmm.
how's that a bad thing? Because Scott Hall was one of the best of all time.
Yep.
But
I
he,
mean, Razor Ramon is he Razor Ramon. I feel because that's his, that's his mentor. That's the person he looks up to, or as a character who he really wants to be defined to look like, right? I feel like Damian Priest is who Scott Hall would have been if he had been given more of a shot in that old school wrestling. You know
well,
what I'm saying?
if he wasn't behind the depth chart of in
Yeah.
WCW Hulk Hogan,
Hmm.
if he wasn't behind the depth chart in WWE of Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart,
Right.
because he
Hmm.
was great. And we're not going to dwell too long on this, but I promise you, one day we will have a whole episode entirely devoted to Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Um, may he rest in peace.
May he rest in
But
peace.
Damian Priest is a tribute act to him, if you ask me, and I mean that in the best possible way because he's original in his own way, but he does. You can see a lot of the
Hmm.
comparison. And Finn Balor,
I
sir,
like Finn Balor now. I like him,
I
and
like
he
him
needs
better
to
as a
win
heel.
something. Yeah, he needs to win something as a heel.
So,
And stop. I know that they just got the tag team titles taken off of him. Spoiler, but like he needs to win something and not as a part of another unit. Like
and
he needs singles titles.
and it doesn't have to be a world title
It
either.
doesn't. It could be a mid card, but
Well, I'm at the stage in my life to where I don't think the title's a prop. As much as we
yeah.
revere it as wrestling fans, it's a prop.
Hmm.
Um, and Finn doesn't need it, but at the same time, he deserves it. And
Yeah.
he does everything he does the past few years since he's came back from that major injury in 2016. It's just like he's putting guys over, putting guys over, putting guys over.
Hmm.
When's it Finn's turn?
When is it? Yeah,
And that's the
exactly. Because
you got so
because
many talented.
Priest came up as a result of being put over Finn,
Yep. And you've
and
got
I don't
so
think that's
many
unfair.
talented guys.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, right? And you got a company like WWE, like AEW, like TNA, like MLW, all these great companies that are so stacked with talent. Not
Hmm.
everybody's going to be the world champion because if they
Yeah.
are, the world champion means nothing.
It means nothing. Yep.
So that was a 4-star match according to Dave Meltzer.
Hmm.
I would have given it higher just because Gunther just lays everything in and it looks so real. Probably because it is real. Um,
I
it
mean,
looks like it hurts.
those slaps are very audible.
Yeah. So we got about 4 or 5 minutes left, so we're gonna rush through these last
All
two.
right.
Uh,
That was
we
quick.
we crowned the first ever women's United States champion in Chelsea Green.
Green. You
And
deserve it, Chelsea.
Mishin, she's going to get her flowers one day. I promise you.
Yeah.
She's WWE loves her. She does everything she can to put people over. And Triple
Hmm.
H, she is a Triple H hire.
Yeah.
And but in the meantime, Chelsea, good job. Thank you for the character work. And I
Yes.
can't wait to see Matt Cardona carrying a replica of your title around like he wanted to.
And that white with all the
Yes.
her faces all over the place was a great
And
outfit choice.
I love her teaming with Piper Niven. Piper
Yeah.
Niven is I I can go on for days. I'd like to see her and Nia Jax in a match for the women's world title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
That would
two
be great.
big girls, big, strong,
Big
beautiful girls.
bruiser.
Just
Yeah.
mm.
Coming at each other.
But, and finally, while we got a
Hmm.
few minutes, because I want to rush but not rush, Cody and Kevin Owens for the Universal title. Now I texted Joe earlier Saturday, or was it Friday night last week? I said Kevin Owens needs to win.
Yeah. And
It
I
makes no
agree.
sense for him not to. Well,
Hmm.
he didn't,
Nope.
but he did in a way. Because see,
Kevin
after
Owens is a
Co-
menace to society.
he is, and it's the
Yep.
best thing. Kevin Owens in modern wrestling is my favorite wrestler in the world
Oh,
right now.
really?
He has
Really?
been since 2016. I
Hmm.
can watch Kevin Owens do anything and I'm entertained because he's not the biggest guy, he's not the strongest guy, he's not the fastest guy. And excuse my language, I try not to use bad words, especially on the internet, but he is a badass. He's a
Yeah, he
killer and I
is.
love it.
Hmm.
And after the match, Cody wins and of course this is all fair, so spoiler if you didn't watch the internet. Package pile driver in the middle of the ring. Cody's selling it like he broke his neck.
Yeah.
Kevin's still got the belt. And then Triple H is trying to fight Kevin in the aisleway.
In the out, man,
I think Triple
please
H
give
might
me
have
some
one
Triple
more,
H. Yeah.
and I think he needs to get the package pile driver.
Ooh,
And I think Kevin Owens needs to be the interim world champion while Cody's neck is broken.
neck is broken.
This is just fantasy booking, okay?
Yeah.
Kevin Owens did not get a fair shake as Universal Champion. He was the second fiddle,
Yeah.
the whole title reign. And I love Chris Jericho, but and I love the list of Jericho at that time, but it overshadowed Kevin Owens as Universal Champion.
Mm,
And it's Kevin's time.
it is.
Kevin
It's Kevin's
is
time.
an amazing wrestler,
And he's
an
a
amazing
wrecking
heel,
ball. Yep.
and Cody is a much better chaser than I think he is a champion, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. It's
His
not.
dad, Dusty Rhodes, is one of the greatest of all times, but uh, you don't remember Dusty carrying the championship as much as you do him chasing it.
Yeah.
And I got to say, man, after 4 years or so of Roman Reigns being the world champion, I don't need super long title reigns. 6 months, eight
Hmm.
months is fine.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm dominating the conversation. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. Cody is I mean, I'll say the hard thing out loud. Cody is a boring champion. He's a much better chaser. You
Uh,
know, I mean, I'm tired of saying, I'm already tired of seeing him with the belt. And I love Cody. Cody Raheem Rose, that's my dude. But like he's boring as a champion.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, can we get another one? Can we get somebody else? And I think KO should be that guy because for some, he is entertaining. He's a wrecking ball. Kevin Owens is a bruiser. All right. Kevin Owens is probably like your favorite, but I feel like he deserves it all because he's always lifting up others. But I
Yes.
feel like he's a bruiser. He's somebody that you can actually feel fear when he walks into the room. You know what I'm saying? He has that unpredictability. He is somebody who I think is the opposite of Cody Rhodes, not boring. I feel like Kevin Owens will do anything just to win, and that's what
Oh
we
yeah.
need. You know what I'm saying? And
And
I
he's
feel,
justified.
yeah, and I kind of root for him, even though he's the heel, and I'm just like, but I kind of do root for heels a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
He's
but
justified in his actions because he spent all this
mhm,
time fighting with Cody, with Sammy against the bloodline. And then
yeah,
what's Cody do? Teams with
he
Roman.
goes to Roman, teams with Roman. The issue that he has makes sense, and that's just good writing. Oh my goodness!
And
Now,
Mick Foley says it best, and Terry Funk said it best, that what makes a good heel is that he believes that what he is doing is right.
yep, yep.
Kevin believes what he's doing is right, and I agree with him.
I agree with him too. And I think the thing that will make Cody better, because he's like when you think Superman, you
Yeah,
think kind of like vanilla, like he's wearing the tights and he's all shiny, and it's just like, okay, great.
he's
But
draped the American flag, got the tattoo, and
yeah, it's like,
we love
okay,
America, but I'm just
we love
saying
America, but yeah,
it's
he's
not
boring. He's
1986 anymore.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of boring. Like we don't need a Hulk Hogan versus whoever the Pakistani is or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, or the Iranian like they used to do back in the 80s.
Yeah,
So it really is giving that 80s trope. So what we need is a Cody Rhodes heel turn.
dude is coming.
Yeah.
I think it's coming. I think if WWE pulls the trigger right, not I trust Triple H. I think he's done enough the past couple years. We can trust him a little bit. Let him
Hmm.
drive because he's doing long term storytelling again. Finally, I think we could have a successful double turn.
And we had a glimpse of it when he did the that move on the chair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cody pulled one that John Cena wouldn't have done
Yep. And I was very surprised by that. I was like, he actually used it.
because Cody is a great wrestler and he's a
Hmm.
great promo and he's a great guy to build your company mind. And hey, don't get, he's a great baby face. He
Yeah.
sells merch. Kids love him. I love him. I love
Yeah.
Cody. I'm
I
not.
love Cody.
We're saying all this and we're not talking junk about Cody. But what
Hmm.
we're saying is that we just need a change. I love John Cena. I expressed that in our last podcast. I love John. I think he's one of the best to ever do it.
Yep.
But part of the reason why so many people got so tired of John Cena, it was the Super Cena thing, where
Yeah.
you see the same thing over and over.
It's like
Same
you love them,
reason.
but it's like you love them, but whenever they come out, you kind of roll your eyes a little bit, like, oh, this guy
Well, it's like
again.
why why do people love Batman? Because Batman is in it deep down in his heart, Batman's a good man that's
Hmm.
flawed. So he does things sometimes the wrong way, but he has the right intention.
Yeah.
Where with Cody Rhodes and the John Cenas and the Hulk Hogan's and all this stuff, it was like, oh, it's like Dudley Do Right all over again. But people love
Exactly.
Stone Cold because he was anti-hero. He
Yeah.
had good intentions, but sometimes he just did the wrong thing.
Hmm.
So,
He
and
was the
that's
Punisher.
yeah, that's what it boils down to. We're in the age of Deadpool being one of the most popular superheroes in the world.
Yeah.
We don't need another Clark Kent.
Nope.
And there's a place in
In fact,
wrestling for it, but
Deadpool would say that I'm not a superhero.
no, I'm
Yeah.
just a guy trying to save my family. He didn't care about saving the world. He just wanted to save the people he loved.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
So, with that being said, I'm excited to see where this is going. We
Hmm.
got at World's End coming up,
Yep.
and
Yep.
a little peek behind the curtain, guys. We are kind of just flying by the seat of our pants with these things. If you can't tell, and I'm loving every minute of it though because it's just talking about wrestling. That's all I want to do. That's all I
Yeah.
want to do with my life. If I could just
Well,
not do
we're
anything but sit around and watch and talk about wrestling, I would be a happy
hmm
man.
well, we
I
are sponsored by Candid at the Movies,
was
and
about to
Candid at
say,
the Movies is also very unscripted. We
yeah,
don't, come up and just, this is what we're going to read. Nah, we're just going to say whatever we feel.
say what comes up because that's natural,
Yeah.
right? I was gonna say
Hmm.
we're presented by Canon at the Movies, and I'm thankful for this platform, Joe. You guys welcoming me into this family, so we could do this.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, and I want
Of
to thank
course, man.
everybody watching, listening. We
Thank you.
appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Eventually, it might be another social media page or something, but I'm giving my gratitude, and on behalf of the Studley boys, we thank you for checking out the Wrestling Bros this week.
I
And
love
I'm
you,
just going to
Solo.
OTC. Everybody have a beautiful Christmas. Happy New Year's. We love you.
Happy New Year's, all that. Love y'all.
See you in
Peace.
a couple weeks.